Is this thing on? Good to see you, baby girl. Did you miss me? I just got a text from my phone real quick. Let me check it. Ugh, my students sending me shit to review. It's not like I give them 5 calls a week. My students, man. They're like my little children. I have to take care of them 24/7. They suckle at my teats. How are we doing today, people? How are we doing today? Let me just make sure live stream looks A-okay. Audio sounds bueno. And we'll get cooking. We'll get cooking. Make sure all our tabs are working today. We need to update that because we are on day 5. Look at us. Look at us being so consistent. About to work on some ads today. We're already at the ad portion. Gee willikers. And while that saves, I'm going to go back here. We need to get rid of that layer. And you need to show me all the different thingy majiggers. Show layer properties. Where's the thing where it shows you all the layers? There we are. There we are. Boop. Okay. Now that should just update this file. Awesome. I love that. Now this is a problem. So we need to update that, and then we will be good to go. So let me do that real quick. Ugh. How lovely. How lovely jubbly. That looks nice. Just chatting looks good. Awesome. Let me just make sure everything works on our Instagram feed today, and then we'll get cooking. So this is me when I'm center, so we're gonna have to probably make myself a bit smaller. Yeah, it doesn't need to be that wide. We could do that way. There we go. And then can we drag that on up? Beautiful. Amazing. All right, let me get Instagram going, guys, and we'll get started. How we doing? Any questions for me today? We're just going to leave that tab open because that would be smart. And we have all our tabs open from yesterday, so we'll do a quick little refresher from everything. Put my last savings into Chelsea beating Arsenal today. Oof. Well, let me know if you need a place to stay when you go broke. I'm trying to have hope in Liam, but God damn, we do not like to hire any managers that are proven nowadays. Let's just hire the guy who was 7th in the French league. My God. All right, let's get Instagram cooking. All right. Okay, I think we're good. Why are you gambling as a child, dog? That's the best time to gamble. Start them young. Always start them young. All right. Go live. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So where do we leave off? This was not the document. Where was the document where we did everything? We did not drop it in there. So it was the fascia sculpting blade, but it was not actually a fascia sculpting blade after we did some digging. We did some digging around. We did some Scooby-Doo research. And we found out that it doesn't matter. All that stuff. Where is my market research document that we were working on yesterday? That was this one. Yep. That's the one. Okay. So, honestly, I didn't get as much research as I ideally like. So, what we're going to have to probably do, because this is a product that just really doesn't have a lot of content yet. So, we're probably going to have to just do image ads for a product like this. And we just got to be really methodical with how we plan them out to make sure each one has a different feel to it. Why not? I trust Esteval, though. I mean, I don't know if is Esteval even starting today? He's been on the bench the last few days. Last few games to lose. I don't even know what time that game is. I don't really even follow the league. Bro, I'm so checked out as a Chelsea fan. My God. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do ChatGPT. ChatGPT farting around. It was Amazon product. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, so we're gonna train the Claude stuff based on market research. So we'll go to projects. We'll create a new project. So we're gonna do is just a plantar fasciitis is the main thing. So we'll do. I don't want to like pivot it or like make it all about that because I know it was another thing. So sculpting massage blade. We'll figure out how we're gonna go about it. Write a few ads today. Okay. So let me export this real quick. We'll do PDF. Get that added. It's not going to have all the things I usually train it with because we'd have to save that for the 101 students. Because, yeah, we do have like an L avatar research and all that good jazz. But for now, we'll be fine. We'll do, this is going to be unique because, again, it's not going to be that we have as much research as I'd ideally like. So we'll play around. We'll play around. So what we need is first an avatar. We need an avatar for this. So we're going to use and get a quick little prompt. I want you to analyze this PDF document that is essentially research for a sculpting blade massager. From what I saw from analyzing competitor brands, analyzing Amazon reviews and Reddit comments, it seems to be that the main takeaways are that this product can help with relieving sore muscles, aches and pains in the muscles, specifically for the legs, and that it also helps a lot with plantar fasciitis. So this is a sculpting blade that uses EMS. It has heat therapy. It has vibration. So it is a massage-esque product. Now, if plantar fasciitis is the main audience, make a note of what specific niches have plantar fasciitis the most, whether it be nurses, runners, etc. But we need to essentially come up with multiple avatars that are the highest chance of buying this product. Okay, so we'll do that. Does lack of competitors make it harder to write videos? It doesn't make it harder to write the videos. It's going to make it harder to actually create videos. I don't even think I'm going to bother creating video ads for this product just because there's really not any content besides that one brand we saw. So it just doesn't really seem like something that's going to be viable. And like we don't need videos right now for this product. It's just going to be good messaging, good headlines, good image ads. We can make it work with image ads. Okay. So first off, today we are going to need to know who our avatar is. Which last night we had an idea. It was the muscle soreness is the hammies, the athletes, shin splints for runners, plantar fasciitis for runners. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh man, I needed that house music. All right, let's see. Overworked nurse. Yeah, that makes sense. Runners with plantar fasciitis, that makes sense. Teachers, they don't have any money. Why would we market to teachers? Buddy, come on, pal. Yeah, nurses and runners make sense. Laborers also make sense. We're not doing tech neck. Sorry, pal. We are not doing tech neck. No. That's just such a bullshit thing for this product. We are not doing post-surgery recovery either. No. We saw like maybe 2 people. Surprised it hasn't done anything about the muscle recovery audience. It's kind of surprising. Let's paste this prompt also for the ChatGPT and see what it comes up with. Yeah, so nurses is going to be one for sure. Let me record an audio message because I want to kind of, I think Claude needs to focus also on that market. We need the muscle soreness audience too. It's going to be plantar fasciitis, nurses, runners. That'll be 2 of them for sure. Because that's 2 avatars that, like, where we could have we could do 2 avatars right there and then 2 frameworks to each one, or 2 angles to each one. Or we can go 3 avatars and then we'd have 1 angle to all of them and a second one for the one we think has the best chance, which could be the nurses. That would make sense. That would make sense. I just kind of want to see its take on it. Yeah. Heel pain on first steps in the morning. I like that. That's very specific. Okay, pal. You did good. I'm curious what you think about potentially marketing to an avatar of people that have muscle soreness, specifically athletes, runners, that are looking for ways to recover faster and potentially don't want to use massage guns because they haven't worked for them. Would that potentially make sense for an avatar? Did we get a sale, Ethan? No, you have not been paying attention, pal. We are writing ads for our first product. I don't think you've been on these live streams. We are about... I mean, we're still... here's the thing, because I got to teach you guys how to do the thing. So this is... We're going to write some ads today. That's what we're going to do. And then in another live stream, we'll actually create them. We'll create the image ads. Then we have to create the product description. Then we have to create the product page. So there's going to be a lot of steps before we get there. It's going to be probably like 3 more live streams. Oh, why does it say 47,000? Oh, that's a good point. You know what? You're right. You are right. That is my mistake. We do need to change that. Well, the bar isn't filled. I did not see that, though. You're right. Good point. Silly me. Great point. It's actually 0. There we go. Okay. You think it's excellent? Wow. Thanks, Claude. This is why you can't trust Claude. The fact that it wasn't even one of its 6 avatars that it created. 7, it didn't even reference that, and that's clearly something we saw in a lot of the research. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna specifically focus on that. So plantar fasciitis, we're gonna do runners and then nurses, and then we are gonna do athletes that are dealing with muscle soreness. Athletes is a little generic, so I probably have to pick a specific athlete. So it's probably gonna be runners as well. Yeah, it's probably gonna be runners. Okay. So we'll move these down here for now, and then we'll work on that first avatar. So let's do our plantar fasciitis audience of nurses. And just to show you guys what it should ideally look like when we're done. Where's my original market research doc? So what it should look like is we ideally have Amy. So in the name, age, what does she do? How does she describe her problem? What are those fears, the emotions that are going to make her actually buy our product? What has she failed with? Transformations, emotional desires. So we'll keep it simple. We'll just ask, we'll just do an audio prompt asking Claude and all those questions, and we'll get started. Is an avatar just a specific customer profile, then like narrowing it down to the problems to then create ads? Correct. Yes. It's a very good explanation for it. Okay. So for our first avatar, which is going to be specifically nurses with plantar fasciitis, I want you to create a name for this person. What is their age? Is it a male? Is it a female? How do they describe their everyday problem of dealing with plantar fasciitis? How does it ruin their life? What are the emotions do they feel about this problem? What is going to be the thing that motivates them to actually take action? Most likely fear. Fear of it never getting better. Fear of dealing with this for the rest of their life. How have they done in terms of trying other products? What have they failed with? What objections may they have about our product? What's the transformation that they're trying to get? What do they want their life to look like? What are the emotional desires behind buying this product? What do they want to feel like? What are the senses of maybe pride, of confidence, of transformation? Okay, so let's just see. Why did you write down the benefits in lingo before the avatar? Because that's what's going to be what helps inform my decision of who the avatar is going to be. So how I do it is I first gather the resources. So I go on Reddit, I go on Amazon, I go on a bunch of these different places, and then I actually get all of the material, which then forms my opinion of who I think the avatar is going to be. If I don't do that, like if I try to guess the avatar first and be like, oh, I think it's going to be for this, and then I do the research, and then it doesn't say that, then
it completely invalidates what I thought the avatar was going to be. You can't know who the avatar is going to be until you know the benefits and the lingo that people are saying. Like you just like how would you ever be able to come up with an avatar when you've done no research? It's just backwards. All right, makes sense that's a woman. So Sarah 40s. So Sarah 42, and specifically registered nurse. Feels like I'm walking on broken glass. The first steps out of bed. I like that. It's not bad. Ideally, we just move over lines that we found in the arrange phase, but the reality is we just didn't see too much good content, which was unfortunate. But we'll move over some lines here because this is ideally what you want to do. So pain from standing all day. My body feels like it's falling apart. Those are two good problems. Those are two really good problems. So we're going to keep those. All right, let's see what else. Claude. Yep, I've already taken 2 Advil. Yep, that's very common. Needing pain medication just to make it through. Constant burning ache that gets worse as the day goes on. That's very valid. My feet are swollen. At the end of the day, my feet are swollen. I can barely recognize them. I like that. End of day. Oh, I like that. That's a great emotion. I feel like a failure as a mom, too exhausted. That's a fair point. Sarah Martinez? Who's this one? Sarah Martinez? It's like these AI things are linked together. My God. Feels like a knife in my heel. That's a good way of describing it, too. Dreads, long shifts. I like that. Dreads. Dread. Every day I just dread. Those are very, very valid points. That's a very good point, too. Yeah, I might have to quit my job. I might have to quit my job because it's too physically taxing. I know I brutally misspelled physically there. All right, nothing I try actually works. I don't want to be the person who's always complaining. That's fair. It's very fair. So the fear, big fear also, the fear of this being permanent. Main emotion is fear for sure. Yeah. She tried orthotic inserts, compression socks. Yeah. Compression socks, pain meds. These are probably the more common things for sure. Yeah. Yeah, having to miss shifts. That's a good way of describing it. Having to miss shifts and worrying about being fired because of the pain. That's real. That's specific. I like that. I was gaining weight, too painful to exercise. That's fair. Gained weight too. That's also a good point. I can't do this forever. Yeah, it's going to be frustration for sure. Fair, fair, fair. Okay. Primary fear, whether this never gets better. Yep. Yeah, I can't get surgery. Yep. It's too expensive. I don't have the time. Yep, I'll never get better is the big thing for sure. And here's the thing, guys. Like, this is all good stuff. These are all angles in themselves. Like, they are legit angles. So if we have a nurse, if nurse is our main angle, or sorry, main avatar, what are different angles we could do to nurses? Well, one being the fear of never getting better. Another one could be, I almost had to give up nursing. I had to quit nursing. That's another problem in itself. Like, as a nurse, I felt like I was failing my kids. That's another angle. I couldn't get surgery. Like, these are all angles, which is really good. It's really good stuff. I'm probably going to end up doing 2 angles for nurses. And it's probably going to end up being these 2. It's probably going to end up being those 2. I'm going to write that down. Why did it... Yeah. All right, whatever. We'll make things look nicer in a bit. Let's just see what else we got. Can't afford it. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's the main thing. She's gonna think this is a gimmick. That's a very fair concern and objection. What if it doesn't work? Yep. Need good guarantees for health products. Need good guarantees. I saw a great guarantee today. Sorry, let me read these. I'll give you guys a second. Do you have the market research video up, or is it something you developed live or showed live? I have a market research video called like this is like the best ad creative strategy, and this breaks down my entire market research process. So yes, I do have a video about that. Do we always pick the majority of an audience or a subsection? Usually it's a subsection. Riches are in the niches. Do you have the blueprint spreadsheet up somewhere, or did you do this through AI to create columns? The market research sheet is in that video that I just referenced, the ad creative strategy video. Hi, man. I really don't understand how you guys bring a solution for this amount, product supply and shipping. That I don't really know what you mean by that. That's not really a very articulate way of saying that, unfortunately. So I wish I understood you. Okay. What else we got? Transformation. What is the transformation? Yep, those are all very valid. That's also very valid. This is going to be interesting because the reality is that we're probably going to have to do image ads, so there's not even going to be that much text that we can really put in terms of research. Video ads probably makes sense, but we're just not going to have enough content to do it. Yeah. Yeah, relief is going to be the big thing for sure. I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay. Is there any other big things that we're missing here for this specific avatar? Not broken permanently. Freedom. Yeah, that's what everybody wants. I want to feel light on my feet again. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, can I write down more notes? Sure. I got the gist, though. I got the gist. Can I actually write a video script? Probably not, because that's not... I'm just going to write what I think we're going to actually make for this product, and I don't think we're going to do video ads, so we're probably going to end up doing mainly images. How picking a subsec look like in your research? I don't know what you mean by subsec. Not sure what you mean by that. Zendrop, Deserts, private suppliers. I sold almost $1,500 products, 1,500 product, and shipped one by one. No idea how I can automate the product supply and shipping to like you said, use a private agent that's connected to your store, and then they can automatically fulfill for you, and then they'll just send you an invoice at the end of the week. So, Zendrop, Commercive, Deserts, yeah, eProlo, CJ, those are all great options. Subsec of your audience. I'm assuming what you mean is like, how do you pick a more niche down version? So, I mean, that just comes from research. Like when we did research for this product, we were able to identify that it was plantar fasciitis. That is the main majority of the audience. So I could try to appeal to everyone who has plantar fasciitis. Or what typically makes the most money, because you're being as specific, you're trying to market to one person, which I always think is the smartest thing to do, is you pick, yes, the subsection. So just from the research, I mean, we just did it right now, of who is the audience that deals with that the most, plantar fasciitis. Nurses was one of the main ones, so that's where I'm picking nurses, and then runners as well. So it's just based on your own kind of gut feel, intuition, and then also asking AI. It's usually a combination of those. CJ's ass. I like CJ. I've had good experiences with him. Yeah, how do you niche down? Yep. No, I got it. Okay, so we got a decent idea of who the avatar is. The avatar. Okay, so based on that, let's move our girl Sarah over. And I want to make this more clear. So core problem is I'm terrified my plantar fasciitis will never go away. This is my new reality. Core desire, as we saw earlier, is mainly relief. Yep, I just want the pain to stop. She wants relief for the pain to stop and to no longer think of her feet. All day. Unique mechanism for our product is mainly the EMS and heat relief. From our massager or from our blade. Okay, so that's gonna be the first angle, and then we'll pick a framework. Let's just do the second angle real quick, which is going to be having to quit nursing. That's a very, very big problem. Having to quit her job and make less money because the pain is because her plantar pain is unbearable. Core desire, of course, would just be the opposite, which means being able to work the job she loves without being in pain. And then the unique mechanism is going to be the same thing. Pretty much unique mechanism is always going to be the same for every ad. It's just good to like reiterate it so you know for yourself when you're writing this stuff. Okay. All right, let me just read the comments real quick. What are your thoughts on products geared towards people who struggle with sleep? I think that's a great niche. I love the sleep niche. Just keep in mind there's a lot of products that have been quite saturated, so you have to find something that's unique. Something with a new mechanism that people haven't really seen before. So we're supposed to do multiple audiences, not just one, so 10 ads for each. You can do multiple audiences if the product, like when you did your research, it clearly showed that there's multiple audiences. Though there's only one main audience for your product, then you can stick with one. I ideally like to do one, but for this product, there's clearly very much different audiences that exist, and I would be kind of remiss to just go for one. It just doesn't seem like the right play. I think realistically, we're going to have probably 3 audiences. It's going to be the nurse, runners dealing with plantar fasciitis, and then the muscle soreness. So we'll have 3 different avatars. And then we'll have a total of 4 angles. Okay. So since we don't have a lot of content, let me see what we're doing on the Instagram side of things. Are you able to share this doc? Where else are you streaming besides Instagram? YouTube, bro. Sorry, I don't want to make sure if there's any comments. What's up? What's up? So yes, the market research documents in a lot of my videos in the description. Okay, so let's go to the one-on-one program and just see kind of all the different image templates we have available. Let's see. Us versus them. That doesn't really make sense. Before and after. Big claim headline makes sense. Benefit call out makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of curious. I want to see on Atria. There's a brand that does a lot of image ads. Very similar. I want to see what the boys at Hike Footwear are doing right now. Which I think I have. I think I sign in this way typically. Because I want to get a little bit of ad inspo. Usually before I ever create something, I'm going to get some inspo. Noro can be a good one for sure. We'll take a look at some Noro ads today. Arctic Goddess is usually, they're also pretty good. Solo Wave. I could see Solo Wave. And yes, let's do hike footwear. Okay, let's just get a little bit of inspiration today before we start creating. Ethan, what's your longest running product and for how long? Right now, most of the products I've been running have been 6 months. Longest I ever had was probably 3 years. Around 3 years. Usually after like a year, I'm fielding offers to sell the brand though at that point. Because I like to get a quick little payday. To what extent do we take competitors seriously if some of them are terrible? That's a tough question. I will take them seriously if they're clearly doing numbers. If they have ads running for multiple weeks, then clearly they found something right. I usually just try to get bits and pieces. Like, I don't use them to build the foundation. It's usually, when I look at competitors, I've already gotten to a point where I've done enough research from the real sources, so from actual videos, from Reddit, from Amazon, from all these different places, and then I have an idea of what I think is the audience, and then I use competitors to think or to get inspiration of lines and stuff that fit into the narrative that I've created. So for instance, with this product, I know plantar fasciitis is going to be the main audience. So what I'll do is then I'll look at competitors and see, have they said these benefits, these pains in a way for plantar fasciitis that I can also use or that I can get inspiration from. But if they say something completely different, I'm probably just not even going to give a shit about it. Like yesterday when we did research, we saw that brand that was selling the same product, but they were doing it for cellulite. We saw nobody mentioning cellulite, but they did have some lines about plantar fasciitis. So I was like, okay, I'll move those over because that corresponds with what I saw. Did you sell Umro for 600K? I sold it for 70. No, it wasn't 6. I wish it was 600. No, 70. Is it hard to exit a brand? Not really. If you've been scaling for at least 6 months, there's so many different places you can sell it. I mean, there's private sellers on Twitter. There's that's typically how I do it. I have a guy that I can just send him to the store, and then he can connect me with all of his investors. There's one specific, I'm blanking on it, but I've used them before. That's like the main marketplace. If you just look up like Shopify sell marketplace, what's the name of it? It's a very popular one too. Shit. I've actually used them before. Oh, damn it. I'm blanking. Whatever. Not the other one. Let's look at some ads. Native style makes sense. The native style could definitely work for a product like this. Problem solver. Yeah, native style, before and after. Can you show before and after for plantar fasciitis? That's kind of tough because obviously it's more an internal problem, so I don't think we'd really be able to do that. Realistically, though, we can definitely show a woman, a nurse, in pain, grabbing her ankle at work. We could have, what we could do, for this first one, we could do a native style ad. So obviously there would be no text on it, but we use this information to form our ad copy. And then this can go to an advertorial page about plantar fasciitis, because plantar fasciitis is the main thing here. This makes it interesting because there's so many ways we could go with this. I think realistically we are going to do an advertorial. And if we are going to do an advertorial about plantar fasciitis, ideally we'd want to do it specifically to nurses. So both of these frameworks would go to that advertorial page first. But typically the split test is when you do an advertorial, you do it. That's kind of tough because we're going to have a different. That's where it's tough to have 3 avatars. Maybe we can't have 3 avatars. I usually at max do 2, but this is one of those toughies. What we could do is 2 avatars. We could do runners with plantar fasciitis as our other avatar, have 2 different angles to them. and this would take more work, but it would give us a better chance of it working in general, is we have 2 avatars, 2 angles to each one, and we do a split test where to the nurses, we will split test a pre-sale page versus sending them directly to a product page for nurses. And then what we can do for the runners is the same process. 2 angles, pre-sale page, split tested versus just sending them directly to a product page. I usually am against that for my students because that process would take them so long. But because I'm the top G, because I'm Ethan fucking Goggins, we could do that. We could do that. Randolph said Flippa. You are right. It is Flippa. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out now. Guys, I think that's what we're going to do. 3 avatars is just too difficult. It's so spread. I always tell my students 1 is the ideal, but 2 kind of max. So yeah, we're going to do plantar fasciitis for runners as well. So we'll just make a note of that. We'll keep these, but yeah, it's going to be this. That's going to be our other one. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So for our first framework of ad, we have to do, one of these is going to be native style. I think honestly for both the runners and nurses, we'll do a framework of native style for both of them. And then we'll pick another framework for the other angle. So I'll never get better. I'm terrified my life will never go away. That could be a native style ad. We'll do native style. Native style problem ad. Or we could do variations of the native style. So we could do native style where it's just showing the pain. So just to show you guys what the native style is. I have a full video about this. If you haven't already, I think it's my second most recent video where we cover kind of the different ways you can do it. Realistically, problem is going to be one of them. We can't do before and after. Product image with social proof could make sense because we could show the product and just say how this was something that like a massage therapist discovered, developed for nurses with foot pain. And you could show a product shot. We could do that. Or again, we could do a nurse who's like happy, who's working. And then the circle which shows the product. It's a toughie. Oof, that's a tough one. Because I think honestly the one that would stand out the most on the feed is just doing 4 different versions of the problem image. But the desired result one I could also see. What if we did 2 problem images and then 2 desired result ones? That I could kind of see. Okay, so desired result would be showing a nurse. She's happy. She's fine, like doing her job. Show the product, and then we'd have text on screen. This massager eliminates plantar fasciitis pain for nurses. For nurses dealing with plantar fasciitis, this miracle cure. Yeah, I think we can kind of do 2 desired result ones. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's how we'll do it. That's how we'll do it. We'll do 2 problem ads, 2 desired results. And for the other one, I'll have to quit nursing. That's where we could just have a good headline. Good headline. I think we'll just do headline style ads for that. Like big claim headline. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we were like a big headline of the problem that they're dealing with, we just have to split test multiple headlines, try multiple templates as well. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do big claim. We'll do big claim for that one. Kind of want to see real quick. I had a leg massager I tested. What image ads did we do for that one? Because it was a similar audience. It would probably be similar to this. But we need stronger headlines. These headlines suck dick. Okay. Okay. We need to go back. We do not need this open anymore. Okay. Oh, we have 2 versions of this open right now? Okay, let's get rid of that. I kind of want to look at these guys, see if they have anything interesting. Interesting. Wow, look how much text they have on these ads. My God. They're not proven, though. They haven't been running those ads for a long time, so that could just be a flop. This would be something that we may model. Okay, so we'll do big claim headline ad. All right. Let's make a copy, and we're going to write some headlines. Because all we really need is headlines. And then we'll do, like, obviously the whole ad copy thing. Ethan, do you think an initial test, it's good to do AI, UGC, VSLs? I've already done mass desire test and hook test. An initial test to do AI, UGC? I don't really ever do AI, UGC, to be honest. I don't think it's good enough. I'm not a fan of AI, UGC right now. I don't think it's there. I've personally just never had an ad work with AI, UGC. Unless it was like AI B-roll footage, but actual UGC talking, nah, I just don't ever really do that. Hasn't worked for me. Okay. I'd stick to the basics. Just get clips from TikTok, YouTube, whatever you can find. I always prefer real clips, though. Okay, so we need to do native style 2 problem ads. So realistically, what we're going to need to do, let me delete a few tabs because we're going to have to nano banana some stuff. Nano banana. And what was reference? If you guys don't have access to this, this is in the second most recent video I have about creating native images. We'll try this prompt and just kind of see if this one works. This is without a reference image. Typically, it doesn't look great without one. We'll see. Let me respond to some comments in the meantime while we get kicking. See how Instagram's doing. Usually Instagram's not great. Any comments? Are you streaming this somewhere else? Yes, YouTube. Everyone always has. Let me move you over a little. Anything that I missed? No, I think we're good. Okay. So, let us commence with this process. So essentially for the prompt, we're going to need create a hyperlink showing a nurse with plantar fasciitis with exaggerated physical signs. We can just And then there. The plantar fasciitis. All right, so we'll get 2. We'll see if it does anything, but realistically, I'm not, you know, hanging my hat on that by any means, because typically it does need a good reference image. So we'll do nurse, plantar fasciitis, see if anything comes up. It's oddly specific, so we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. I mean, it could be a good reference image. I mean, honestly, let's see if Atria has anything on there. If we just look up plantar fasciitis, just ads, you can kind of get inspired. I need a new chair. This one has just does not have the back support. Doesn't like lean forward enough. Kill me! I'll be the Hunchback of Notre Dame by the time I'm 40. Ooh. Ooh. You know, I had a student that did a similar ad where it was a foot with the writing on it. That's a good ad. I know that style works. I had a student that killed it with that style. All these, look how all these look so, these all look like ads. This is the shit I hate. These all look like ads, and then you see this. It's like, of course, this is going to be the winner every single time. This visual is so much more interesting. Like, duh, no brainer. Look at this shitty ripoff of it. That's funny. We're probably going to make an ad with that as one of the reference images, honestly. Kind of want to see how it turns out. Oh, I should have specified for women. That's kind of gross. Let me do female nurse. Oh, I just wasted some credits there. My God. And then in terms of aspect ratio, let's do 1 by 1. That was my mistake. Okay, so 1 by 1, and then let's do the other prompts where we have a reference image. Kind of want to have text on it. And what was the core angle? It'll never go away. Let's see what Claude kind of whips up for headlines. And then we can marinate it. I need a list of 10 to 15 different headlines based on our research for our avatar of Sarah, who's the nurse dealing with plantar fasciitis. We're going to go with the angle of her terrified that her plantar fasciitis will never go away and that this is her new reality. Now, we are going to be doing an image ad. So the headline needs to be about 8, let's see, how many words is that? About 8 words max. And we really need to drive in that fear that it will never get better. And ideally, probably have the word nurse in that headline as well. That fear that this is the new reality, it'll never get better. Really drive it on the problem. What's up, Ethan? What's going on, Ivo? Is giving hundreds of reviews with different listings to ChatGPT a method you tried? Yeah, no, I do that every time. That's the ideal. If you have a product where there are lots of reviews. So unfortunately, for this one, there really isn't. But that would be, yes, exactly something I would do. God, I hate fucking ChatGPT for this. This one would be for the other angle. Doesn't really fit our main one. What was let's get rid of this real quick. Worsens plantar fasciitis because we need plantar fasciitis. We need both nurse and plantar fasciitis in it. That's kind of tough to fit. Nurses, comma, worried your plantar fasciitis will never heal. That could work. We could make that work. I guess we don't need to have the word nurses. But that's the problem. If we don't have the word nurses, then what is going to make this ad go to specifically nurses? I mean, in the ad copy, we can call them out. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. I would still like to have nurses in there, though. Have... nurses... Terrified your planet will never go away. Okay, we'll generate that, see what's up. It's not bad. It's not bad either. My worry with that is it might be too graphic and Facebook will probably deny me. Probably. Probably need to make this like 50% less aggressive. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Come on. Come on. We can do a little better than that. That's not bad. Yeah, that actually looks a little bit more real because it's faded. It does have that little fade to it. I like this. I fuck with this. Add one done for our angle. Yippee! So we wanted to do 2 problem, 2 desired results. Oof, we could do 2, but we could do 2 of the feet. We could 2 of the feet, and then we could have 2 of the problem, and then that would be 4 problem. That's tough. That's tough. I kind of want to see what the desired result one will look like first before we say no. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just get a quick little prompt whipped up for that. I needed prompts for an AI tool, Nana Banana, to generate a desired result image. So essentially, an image of my target audience, which is nurses dealing with plantar fasciitis, no longer dealing with it. So most likely showing a nurse at work, doing her job, smiling, not in pain, essentially whatever the desired result is. Is there anything else we need? I don't think we need anything else. Because we're going to put that in a prompt cowboy and then we'll make it all detailed and stuff. Oh, we need to make sure it's a female nurse. Okay, beautiful. It already had the female nurse. All right, so let's see if desired result makes sense. Let's see if in the first generations it does something interesting. Because we could just do another version of this. My one issue, I like to have each ad visual look different because we just changed the text. It's not enough in Facebook's eyes. We would have to probably change the background of the visual, like make the foot smaller, like in a different place. Yeah, it'd have to be something like that. Okay, so this is our other option. Desired results. We have the exact same woman twice here. Okay, so we can have a nurse happy. We would have the product and say, blah, 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 blah. This product's going viral for healing nurses plantar fasciitis. Could do it that way. It definitely makes it definitely would be a different style for each one of these to feel different from each other. And this would be like the more benefit-oriented version of this, where like getting rid of that pain, no longer having to think about it, getting that instant relief. Yeah, I think we will do it that way. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, we already have one of the problem native style done. And then one of these would just have to be the other one. And we could probably just go with this one, honestly. This one might be too aggressive. Yeah, I think we could just use this one, honestly. It's not bad. Okay, so we got the image part done. So we're obviously going to need the whole story and all that hoopla. And then we don't need this anymore. We just need 2 images. So let's generate 2 more, because this one I thought was good, and we can definitely use this. So all of these are going to have the same ad copy, where it's the long, like 1,000-word story. And then on this one, we're going to have to add our own headline about how this is. We're going to do more benefit-oriented headlines for this one. Let's, just for the sake of brevity, yeah, we'll go to these. Add our product in here. Okay. And what text? It's mainly this style, so we're gonna grab that. We are gonna grab you as well. Okay, and then we don't have a hero image of our product yet. I need to grab one of those. Beautiful. Can't be a dude. Needs to be a woman. This could be a good one to try to generate. Yeah. Show a massage therapist, show a doctor holding our products. Yeah. All right, let's just do a little. This is probably going to be the more popular version, the white one, so we'll actually just do that one instead. Okay. So we need to generate, we do have a prompt for that. That is in my native image video of model plus product shots. So let's get a few generated there. And we'll just get that product that we had. Relatable female doctor holding the product in the image above. They should be holding the product with a satisfied expression. Say we would want a female doctor. Female, age 45. And we'll just get a few generated and just see what happens. Is this different enough? Which one looks different enough? Kind of like this one. Okay. And from there, okay. Kind of looks like Rachel McAdams. Similar expression. Similar face. Love me some Rachel McAdams. Love Mean Girls. Okay. So we need a good hero image. This one could work. That could work. Yeah, that can work. We just have to zoom in specifically. Okay, let's just see how that looks. Kind of want to crop it down just a tad. What if we just did without her face and just had the hands? Problem is it's white on white. It's not a good look. White on white's kind of tough. Nana Banana, did I just shut you down? Were my images so powerful? They were so high converting? They knew it was going to print so much money that it couldn't possibly handle it. Let's do the black version instead. Okay. Pretty sure it's Mega Mario Sports. Yeah, I'm good. Let me grab that prompt again. And let's do it with the black model instead. Which I think was that image. Oh wait, no it wasn't. It was the, there she is. So I'll just get two generated real quick from there. In the meantime, we also need some headlines. Now I need benefit-driven headlines, but these are going to have social proof. So for instance, saying something along the lines of, let's go to the examples. New device exposes spike drinks instantly. Unlock your hair growth again. Or science just found a new way to restore hair growth after 55. So this is going to be a almost BuzzFeed style news article, Yahoo headline that is about a benefit, has social proof tied to it. So it can be about how massage therapists, it could be how everyone that uses a product like this, an authority figure, found this new discovery, and it uses EMS, it uses heat, it uses vibration. Those are all potential ideas. It doesn't have to have it, but those are kind of the basic stuff we want to have. It's a social proof oriented headline about how this product is going viral, that nurses love it for the specific angle of getting rid of plantar fasciitis. Let's go back to our angles. It was of getting that relief that they really desire and not having to think about their feet all day. Okay. Let's put that in the prompt cowboy and let's just get a nice little prompt. All right, let's see if we get anything decent. This one could probably be a better image. Why did they? Why would you change black to black? So stupid. So stupid. AI does it. Let's just see how that looks. I left my water bottle in my car. That's my most prized possession. The problem is this woman looks exactly like this woman. Fuck. It's the same woman. Can we generate a woman that maybe is brunette or blonde or something? Something a little different? Christ. I'll just make her blonde. That's unfortunate. They literally made the same woman like 5 times. My God. AI is the future, I'll tell you what. I could see this. Let me just see. Could do something like miracle. Yeah, miracle breakthrough. EMS blade is melting plantar fasciitis. Pain for nurses. With that. It's probably the right amount of spacing. Yeah, that could work. And then we highlight melting plantar fasciitis. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's just see how that looks. Beautiful. Yeah, that looks better. mix it up, put it there instead. Mm-hmm. We'll have to work on that sub headline, but let's see if there's another good headline. We could try this. Nurses are finally walking. Finally walking plantar fasciitis free. After using Miracle EMS blade. It's an aggressive claim, I'll tell you that.
But I like aggressive.
Push the limits. Push the limits when you first test. Do we even need the subheadline? And for structuring, it looks nice. Mm-hmm. All right, so we just need a little sub headline. But those are both different headlines, both slightly different images and feels to them. Slightly different. It's basically the same fucking model. You know, it's a different pose. In this one, she's got a stethoscope, and then in this one, she's also got a stethoscope and a clipboard. Yeah, we might need a slightly different. We might need a different. Let's see if we can get something that's a little bit more different. We'll do movement. The movement's got to be different. So yeah, we'll do attending to a patient. And get rid of the nurse station part. Okay, facial expression, warm smile. We'll do patient room. Okay, let's see if we can get something different. It's just the visual. I mean, it's a different image. It's a tough call because we have different text, which is part of it, but we also need a different visual. Can't just be the same thing. It's very similar. Okay. So while that generates, we have our headline. Facebook audience overlap ain't doing you justice. You got that right. Got that right. This is why we're doing it. Yep, that'll do the trick. That's different. That's actually different. Let's say this one I'm not as big of a fan of. Okay, so we need a sub headline. All right, so now we need a sub headline underneath. So essentially, some examples would be clinically shown to boost vitality, support blood flow, backed by nature and modern research, designed for women over 55. Yeah, so we'll just do those two examples. But essentially, it's just a sub headline that kind of leads them into clicking the link. And it's usually benefit oriented. What time do you think you'll run the ad? I'm curious about the results. Probably in a few days. Because realistically, we're going to have a stream where we write a description for this product, create the product page, create advertorials. Then I have to show you guys how to set up your Facebook ads manager and do all the basic stuff there. So probably be 3 to 4 live streams from now. So what's today? Wednesday? So like Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Around there. Oopsie poopsie. Let me put this through Prompt Cowboy first. Claude, do not start working. All right, maybe I actually do because Prompt Cowboy did not have the right prompt there. Whatever. Okay, let's see. This doesn't need to be too crazy here. Kind of like this second one. It's not bad. This one's also pretty good. I'm leaning towards this one, actually. Let's go with this one. Let's see, is there any tweaks I want to make to it? Let's lower the size just a tad. Beautiful. All right. We got our 4 ads done. Realistically, obviously, we need the ad copy part. These are good headlines, though. Just feel different. We got 2 good of these. All right, so let's do our prompt Rooney Dooney here, our ad copy prompt. Plug that one in. Are the previous episodes available for watching? Yeah, if you go to my playlist, we have all the live streams we've ever done. So yeah, you can take a look. You can see the exactly when we found this product. Yesterday we did some initial research for it. And now we're making ads. So typically with this, I don't go too crazy with the notes. It's usually just getting rid of, because like this ad copy, it matters, but like the actual copy on our product page is going to matter a bit more, and the advertorial. So that's going to be a little bit pickier. So we just want to make sure this is all congruent with what we saw on the angle. So we'll let that cook. But that's essentially everything we need for that first style. Because yeah, This is the angle. We have our framework. We have our ads done. That copy is already being done. Just need to make a note of it. So the next one, big claim / headline ads. This is where we just need to write, well, headlines based on, yes, the experience of having to quit their job because of that pain. So we need 4 headlines essentially for that. Most likely the product in the middle, or the nurse with pain in the middle. And then like the template's going to dictate it because we want to obviously rotate between templates. Yeah, that's going to dictate it. Like this one's one we're definitely going to use. Probably going to use something similar like this. Yeah. Which ones should we use? Let me go to my other Canva account. Just get some frame of reference. Let's first download these. So 14 and 15 are done. Save that. Same thing for 14. All right, let me check your guys' comments. Thanks, man. To be honest, I just do you read the native ads before launching? The ad copy part? Yes, I do. I'm gonna have a few notes to it for sure. There'll be some notes. In fact, I do need to create a document for that. Let's take a gander. Beautiful. Okay. I told my husband I might have to quit nursing at 42. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me across the window with this expression I'd never seen before. That's when I knew how bad things had truly gotten. I've been a med surgeon for 16 years. I love what I do. I'm good at what I do. Yeah, you don't need that twice. But for the last 18 months, my feet have been destroying me. Plantar fasciitis, they said. Common in nurses. Here's some stretches. This part, plantar fasciitis. Plantar fasciitis. Making every step I took feel like I was walking over broken glass. Oh, they already have that in the next line. Fuck. All right. Well, let's just combine these then. That makes more sense. My feet have been destroying me. We'll just do because of. Okay. I felt like I was walking by hour 8 of my shift. I was limping between patients' rooms. And by the time I got home, my feet were so swollen I couldn't recognize them. Beautiful. I collapsed on the couch with ice packs and my husband made dinner and helped the kids with homework. Why I never play with them anymore? I didn't have an answer. I tried everything. And I mean everything. Barely made a difference. For a little bit. But then the pain came roaring back. Compression sucks. Don't need all that. You've already done 2. return it immediately. Nothing worked. The breaking point came one day when I was helping turn coworker asked if I was okay. I lied and said I was fine, but that night lying in bed I couldn't stop thinking, what happens when I can't hide the pain anymore? About taking a desk job. This is some decent copy. I was desperate for someone to tell me there was still hope, and that's when I got something to do. Saw a video. Oops. Looks like my main camera died. Give me 1 sec, boys. Is Nurses an angle or an avatar? It is a sub niche of the avatar. It is an avatar, though. This one barely has any battery. Give me 1 sec. Nurses is an avatar, and we're specifically going with the angle of them feeling like their feet will never heal from plantar fasciitis. Oh god, all these batteries have no battery left. Fuck. Give me 1 sec, boys. 1 sec. Whew. Okay. See if this one's got some juice in it. Come on, baby. And she does. Ah, huzzah. Okay. I saw a video from why plantar was so hard to heal. She said something that made me stop scrolling. There were problems. Facial adhesion scar tissue that built up deep in the tissue. Nothing you're doing is reaching that deep. I sat up in bed. But it doesn't address the adhesions. Orthotics support your arch, but the image is still there. Even massage guns only work on the surface muscle, as they can't penetrate deep enough to release facial adhesions. That's why everything I gave it. Always came back. I kept watching. I already maxed out my insurance coverage. God, that's really specific. I like that. Didn't have time for weekly appointments on my schedule. I needed something I could do at home. She said some PTs are starting using EMS devices. Because the you really think I don't have to get rid of that comma. Because the electrical penetrates way deeper than massage guns or foam rolling. Found study after study. I love this because it doesn't sell the product. It just sells the idea. And this is what you have to do in your video ads as well. You don't sell the product. You sell the transformation, which comes from the unique mechanism your product provides. And this is exactly what it is. You're selling them on EMS. This is really good copy. When it arrived, I used it that night. Watching TV with my kids. Felt weird at first. Like a deep pulsing sensation, but not painful. Okay. I didn't expect anything to change me. I learned not to hope too much. Woke up. It's realistic too. Not bad. All right, I'd say our ad copy's done. So our first angle's done. Beautiful. All right, so realistically for the next one, I mean, we just have to get headlines. It's mainly headlines. Yeah. Let me see how the chat's doing. How are we doing, chat? Right, so construction working is a sub-avatar. So yeah, I mean, it's an avatar, but yes, it is a sub-niche of the big avatar, depending on what product you're selling. You can angle like never-ending foot pain. Yes, you can do it that way. So anyone with foot pain would be the general audience avatar, but that's too broad. So niching it down to, in that case, construction workers is still an avatar. It's just a, yes, specific, more niche down avatar. Yeah. You know what? Instagram, I don't even know why I go live on Instagram. No one gives a fuck. We'll chill on Instagram for now. I don't think I'm just ever going to Instagram it, because Instagram, people don't fuck with it on Instagram. Tis what it is. Kind of makes sense because it's not as cool of an experience. Anyways, so we need some headlines. We need some headlines, and then we're pretty much good to go. Like, I can design them off screen. Like, you guys already saw how I design images, so you're not learning anything new there. Yeah, let's get some headlines. What place is good to get proper visual ad inspiration from if you don't have proper competitors selling the same thing? I mean, where I get all my image ad inspos, Atria. It's always Atria. That's where we save the templates and recreate them. Or you can obviously use a creative.os. All solid. I need 15 headlines for a new angle to our audience of nurses. So it's the exact same avatar of Sarah. But this time, our angle is going to be how she will have to quit her job and make less money because the plantar fasciitis pain is unbearable. So we need to have strong problem-oriented headlines about quitting their job, that fear of having to quit nursing. Yeah. And then I'd like you to also write 10 to 15 benefit-oriented desire headlines where it's about being able to work their job as a nurse without being in pain. What do you think the hook rate and through play rate should be for us to say video ad is good? Typically, a good hook rate is 40%. Through play rate is not something I look at. I mean that's a hold rate, so 10% typically. So 40% hook rate, 10% completion. Around there. I kind of like this. These two are not bad. Nurses are quitting. That could be something, actually. Oops. That could be something. We need to have a section for headlines in here. why did not copy? Nurses are quitting across the country over chronic plantar fasciitis pain. Nurses are quitting regularly over chronic plantar fasciitis pain. Is breaking nursing careers, is forcing nurses to retire early. That could be something. I kind of like that too. Nurses, plantar fasciitis, pain. What was the line? Will cost you your career. Will cost you, or will cost you your career, your job. We want that fear. That's a pretty solid one on its own. It doesn't really need any notes. It's more benefit oriented, but could work. One painful shift. One painful shift away from quitting the career you love, and then showing that pain. These are all interesting ideas. That's another interesting one. Nurses, plantar fasciitis will cost you everything. I mean, that's pretty fearful if you ask me. Survive long shifts without the nagging foot pain. Day is too generic. 12-hour shifts is more specific. The secret to pain-free. Pain-free 12-hour shifts. Or nursing shifts. Work all day. That's interesting. Work all day without the nagging plantar fasciitis pain. We're probably going to need to have plantar fasciitis in it, is the thing. These are all a little generic. All right, we got some headlines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only need 4. Pick the best 4. And then from there, all I really need is a either image of the product or image of a nurse holding the product. We could even use some of the like pain ones. Okay. Beautiful. All right, so I mean, guys, I don't think there's really anything else I want to cover today because we got the meat and potatoes, really, honestly. So what I'm gonna do, probably next stream, I'll have to check the schedule. We may most likely start working on the product page for this product and start writing an advertorial for it. So yeah, we'll probably end up being advertorial product page S day. Since there's nothing new that's going to really come from me working on this, I'm just going to do the same process we already did for the first angle. We already completed the ad. So you guys saw me completing some ads, saw what it's like, the process, kind of the thought process of how I like to plan. So I think we got a good spot here. So we know we're going to do plantar fasciitis for runners, plantar fasciitis for nurses. So for nurses, we're pretty much wrapping that up right now. I'm most likely going to split and see if it's just ads that I want to headline on and then just an image, or headline plus some benefits. Probably will be headline with some benefits, but show up for the next stream. I'll show you guys what the ads are looking like, and we're going to start working on the product page, and we'll go from there. So that's everything I wanted to cover for you guys. So we'll do a quick little Q&A. You guys have any last things for me? Let me know. But mission accomplished, honestly. So we'll just do the exact same process for runners. I'm going to do that off camera because, again, it's just going to be a little redundant. Okay. And if you guys want, you can join my school committee. It is free for your first 7 days. We're having a call. We're going to move calls up to, I believe, Friday. So in 2 days, we're going to have a call. So you guys can hop on, get some questions or feedback on whatever it is that you're working on, and get any questions answered. Why not continue? Because I'm not going to be really teaching you anything new. I'm just doing the exact same process, and we already did it for one angle. So it's not really doing anything new. Like, I'm just going to finish them off camera because it really is like, what, you want me to watch me design an image again? Like, do the exact same process like 3 more times? So there's no point. Explain one more time how you come up with frameworks. It's based on what I believe is going to be the ad style that presents the angle the best. So it's kind of a gut feel type of thing. I mean, realistically, for images, they're just... I don't overthink the frameworks because the frameworks are the least important part. It is the least important part because the reality is people respond differently to different frameworks. There are some part of your audience that will only respond well to native style ads, and there's some where they will only respond well to UGC ads. And so the framework doesn't really matter per se. It's more the angle behind it. It's pretty much, there are just certain frameworks that I almost always use because I know they work. So for images, it's the benefit call out, it's the native style. Testimonial style ads. For videos, it's almost always problem solution, before and after, 3 reasons why. So yeah, I have a question regarding product research. Okay, you make the ads first, then build the site. I mean, I do the research first about who are my audience, my avatars, and then I usually, I mean, you can go either order. To me, I kind of write the ads first, and then yeah, from that I build the website, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's kind of up to you. At the end of the day, it's just doing the research first. Why don't you try to scale another brand like Umro instead of selling it? Because usually you get to a certain point when you're scaling a product where you're just kind of bored of it and you don't really have the time to be thinking of more ad ideas. So you just think it the best option. Like, the only time you want to sell is when you kind of are out of options, where, like, at least for me, where I either grow bored of the product, or I'm just like, I can't think of any new ads, so I'm just going to sell it to somebody else. If I find a product in Callo or wherever else and it's already branded, would I try to sell it with the original brand logo on the product, or would I skip the product? Depends. Like for supplements, pretty much all of those have some sort of branding on it. So to me, that doesn't really matter. If it's more a physical product, like a massager and all that, I would ideally like it not to have a brand on it. But for supplements and like recurring subscription type products like that, usually the branding is not an issue. You just would have to make the product title whatever it is on the packaging, and you'd be fine. It's pretty common though. What AI do I use for video, or would you tell that? I don't really use AI for video, to be honest. I just don't. I don't think it's that good. So if I was, I mean, obviously with Higgsfield, what's the specific one? I know everyone uses Zora, I believe, but Zora's all right for me. It's all right. I'm pretty sure the one I use the most is the VO 3.1. Yeah. Would I get into legal trouble by reselling a product with the original brand's logo on it? It depends if it's a big brand. I would avoid if it's a big brand. Yes, definitely avoid that. If it's a brand where it's not really that big, you're not really going to have to worry about that per se, because they most likely are just a dropshipper that put their logo on it and they don't even own the product. So reality is it's a case-by-case basis. Unfortunately, I can't give you the exact answer. So you derive more enjoyment from starting new stores rather than scaling? I would say I like making money, so scaling is pretty fun. I prefer the scaling process, I would say. When we already have some motion, we already got some momentum. Once the object's in motion, we want to stay in motion, building the team, having the business that's already making money every single day, and then we can just keep growing it. No, I would say scaling is more fun for me. This process, what we're doing right here, this is the more laborious, like, takes effort. So definitely scaling is more fun to me. All right, let's see if you guys have any last questions. If not, we'll call it a day. Appreciate you all for hopping on. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about how I like to process, think about these angles, make my ads, etc. Thanks, man. The value here is insane. Have a great day. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. And feel free if you guys want to join my school. On Fridays, we're hopping on a call, and I'd love to see you guys. But anyways, I'll see you tomorrow, most likely same time. I'll keep you posted on that. Just check my Instagram or my YouTube. We always do a schedule in advance what time it is so you guys can hop on. All right, see you guys later.